Hello, everyone! Welcome to Geek Space Presents Night Witches, Toil, and Trouble. It is so good to see all of you here this evening, or late afternoon Pacific Coast time. Hi, everyone. Welcome in and welcome back. We're right now in the middle of our amazing and exciting fundraiser, and I'm excited to... I don't actually think we've gone over. I think we're still doing... Hold on a moment. I don't think we're there. Are we there?
People seem excited.
Well, good then. I don't know what's going on with... I'm watching Twitch at the moment, but it doesn't look like it has moved over. Hey, audience. Because I'm paranoid, can you see us right now? Oh, good.
I can see us. I just refreshed it. And I see it.
Refresh.
Yes.
All right, fine then. I see you, browser. Hi, everyone. Welcome in. Thank you for being here for the fundraiser. It is very exciting to have you here. So we are GeekSpaceTV, and this is GeekSpaceTV on location, I suppose. We're the remote satellite. And, and GeekSpaceTV is a nonprofit out of Seattle that is based on bringing representation and diversity to geek spaces of all different sorts, gaming and geek spaces. And it's a wonderful organization that brings amazing content to the world, both on Twitch and also on YouTube and Twitter and Instagram and on Discord and all of the places. So it's a wonderful place, and I'm really happy to be here. And I'm so glad that you are all here supporting us during our fundraiser, where we are raising funds for the rest of this season and also to get some back end, pay all the people who work here, except for our CEO, Anna, who I suppose just doesn't get paid. Unless
There's a secondary goal for me to get paid.
There is a secondary goal for her to get paid. Our overall goal right now is to get $69K dollars, and that number is...
It's because we're a classy joint.
It's because we're a classy joint.
I was like, where are you going to go with this?
I mean, it was actually, when I did all the math, it was $6,900. And I'm like, I might as well just lean into that.
Giggity. Lean into it hard.
Lean in. And we are currently in our we are currently in our third phase goal. We have only a little bit left to do for this fundraiser, and I hope that we can reach this fundraiser goal during Night Witches, which would be amazing. So I have a secret surprise for you all. The cast, they can listen, but it doesn't matter. Guess what? We have a giveaway. We're going to do a giveaway during Night Witches. During the break, we're going to do a giveaway, and I'm going to tell you what the giveaway is. So when I start the episode, I give a quote from an actual Night Witch, something about sort of the moment. And all of these quotes, all of them come from this one particular book called A Dance with Death, Soviet Airwomen in World War II by Anne Noggle. And Anne Noggle was a World War II American airwoman who was a spar. And she went, when the wall fell, she went over to Russia and she interviewed all of the Night Witches and other members of these women's regiments that were still around, and she put this whole book together, which is all first-person oral histories, just these interviews with these amazing women. And so, because this is the Geek Space, and we love the educational excitement, this is going to be our giveaway, and this is a brand new copy. I have not even opened it up yet. So during the break, we're going to do a giveaway for this book, and one of you amazing people will be able to read more of the wonderful and inspiring and interesting words of these women. So that's going to happen during break. Be hype. I'm excited. Yeah. So I think I would like to do... Yeah,
Can I
please.
add two things to that? One, everybody keeps telling me that they can see your Roll20 handouts. But two...
Oh, I see it. I see it.
If we hit goal today, I will personally add a physical copy of the Night Witches RPG to that giveaway too.
What? Okay.
Because it's so good.
Wait.
Oh.
Wait. You mean that if we hit goal, you will then provide one of these to some amazing person as well?
The same person. It'll all go to the same person. And
What?
the giveaway will happen during this show, but as long as we hit goal tonight, then I will add a copy to that.
That's so awesome. So, somebody in audience, you're going to get all the stuff that you need to sort of put together your own kick-ass amazing Night Witches campaign, which I recommend because it's awesome. Thank you, everyone. But we should now, I think, introduce our amazing cast. One of our cast members, Rocket Fox, cannot be here today, which just means something terrible will happen to her character for a while. It's cool. No, nothing terrible, I swear. Maybe.
You already have one of them getting reformed.
It'll be fine. But let's introduce the rest of the cast, our amazing people who are here with us. And why don't we start with... So here, let's start with Maggie. Introduce yourself. Tell us something about you.
Hi. Hopefully you can't hear the tsunami that's going on outside. The rain is just like making so much noise. Can you hear it?
I can't hear it.
Okay, sweet. Thank you. Good, beautiful microphone. I'm Margaret Crone. You can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places. I do lots of tabletop streaming stuff, and I make games for a living. So if you want to come check that out, follow me. That's all I got.
What game are you working on right now?
Currently working on Ashes of Creation. If you want to check it out, we're working on a pretty sweet MMO.
Sweet. Okay, how about way over there? Mac, tell us something about yourself. Where can we find you? Who are you?
Oh man, if I had the answer to that, I would be in a much better place in my life. Hey, I am Mac Beauvais. I am God, I don't even know now. Now I'm completely thrown off and I'm just in an existential spin right now. But you can find me and my existential spins online pretty much anywhere as @Strange Like That. So the Facebook, the Twitters, the Instagrams. I'm a tabletop gamer. I play a lot over with the Happy Jacks RPG podcast as well. And I also work for Crypt TV. So if you like spooky monster stuff, that's also a thing to check out.
Nice. And our special guest who's here for 3 whole weeks, unless her character dies tonight, in which case, I don't know, her disembodied spirit will come back? We'll find out. It'll be fine. My CEO and yours, take it away.
Hello, I'm Anna Geeks. I am the CEO and founder and chairperson of GeekSpaceTV, this fine network that you are hopefully watching this show on, unless it's pirated. Don't pirate, it's bad. And I am also a full-time variety broadcaster myself. I do a lot of baking these days. So if you want some tips on making really good muffins and then accidentally dropping them on the floor when you try to share them with people, then come to my channel.
That is fair.
And are we introducing characters too, or should I hold off on that?
Hold off. We'll introduce characters after the title sequence. I just want to say thank you all for being here. There are many, many ways in which you can support us. Right now, we're in the middle of our fundraiser. So if you would like to support us, there is a donation button on the screen that you can click. And if you give us donations, you can put in a message and we will read those messages out so we can, share the love of all of that, of all of the goodness. You can also subscribe to us if you like. We also have a Patreon where you can subscribe to Patreon. You can give us bits. If you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free. But besides all of that, there are other things you can do to be supportive. You can host the channel, which would be great. You can tweet out that we are live right now and get all of your friends to come in and watch the show. You can join the Discord and hang out with us on chat where we talk about things, including one of our members, one of the space cadets, Krellin, had a theory about Anastasia, which was very interesting. It had to do with her favorite nanny, who just went missing one day and no one ever said why. And oh, so sad. And then also just be here and chat and chat with us and be part of our community. So that is wonderful. And with all of that, we're going to take it to the credits. And when we come back, we are going to start episode 5 of Night Witches, Toil and Trouble, Witch Hunter. Welcome back to Geek Space Presents Night Witches Toil and Trouble, Episode 5, Witch Hunter. I would like everyone here to introduce their characters. Give us your name and tell us something about your character, who you are, what you look like, something that we all might want to know. And let us start at the top. We're gonna go with Maggie. Maggie, tell us who you are, who your character is.
Oh, okay. We're going to go in the same order.
Yeah.
Hey, so I play Irina Alberg, and she is the youngest of 7 children in her family, and so she's loud, kind of gregarious, boisterous person. She's really tall and has kind of like a more bulkier build, so sometimes people might not think that she's female all the time. She kind of has like curly, frizzy brown hair that's a little bit of a mess all the time, hence my hair all the time. I feel for you, Irina. And even when she's trying to be serious and you know, be the soldier that she's supposed to be, she's still kind of can sometimes be a little bit silly, and you can tell that she's got a fire in her eyes. Doesn't really keep her uniform as well kept as probably others, and right now, because these aren't the uniforms we're actually wearing like skirts and stuff, she's not digging it. Let's just put it that way.
But no, once you're doing missions, you're out of the skirts. They're not going to put you in the plane in the skirts. But you know, when you have to look nice,
yeah.
Skirts.
Anytime she has to wear those or heels, it's just like she's like that weird person that can't walk in them. Pretty much, yeah. Like, why do people do this to themselves?
Why? Mac, tell us about your character. Who you are? Tell us about your character.
Hey guys, I am playing Nikita Volkova. She goes by Nick. She's got kind of a wiry, roguish build to her and short cropped auburn hair, big, very much a freckly kind of face. Usually has sort of a loose attitude about stuff and gets herself into some trouble, but unfortunately it's been getting in a little too much trouble and had a run in with Captain Olga Barsakova, and that was kind of sobering for her, and just having kind of a rough go of it right now.
And Anna,
what about that last episode? You were kicking some booty.
Yeah, it's all you. It was all you. Anna, if you could give us your character's name, but you can hold off describing her until you walk on stage.
Okay. I am playing Veronica Cardina.
So,
Sergeant Veronica.
Sergeant Veronica Cardina, Comrade Sergeant. This episode, I have to give a disclaimer for our historians in the audience. Dear historians in the audience, there's going to be an event that happens in today's episode that actually happens in 1943, but we're in late 1942. I'm just making a little mix. I want you to know, I know it's just for story purposes. Don't at me. That's it. Okay, I want to start off with our quote for today. This is from Major Maria Smirnova, who was a commander of the squadron and a hero of the Soviet Union. And don't take this quote to mean anything disturbing or dangerous for what will happen in this episode. On this flight, the anti-aircraft guns were silent. I sensed something very uncommon about that, and then thought of the only reason for the silence. German fighter aircraft. We had not been attacked in this way before. We had not developed tactics to counter the attack of fighter planes. I had considerable experience in combat and maneuvered to escape the searchlights, for to escape the searchlights was to escape the fighter. But behind me flew young, inexperienced crews, reinforcements who did not escape. 4 of the aircraft following me were shot down. The tracer bullets set their planes on fire. Our planes were so vulnerable, they were burning like sheets of paper. We were not equipped with parachutes at the time, so 8 girls burned in the air. One was Irina Kasharina, who had landed the aircraft with the dead pilot. It was a horrible scene when a plane is burning. First it explodes, then it burns like a torch falling apart, and you can see particles of the fuselage, wings, tail, and human bodies scattered in the air. The other crews who were in the air at that moment witnessed this tragedy. I saw with my own eyes as I returned from the mission. In the morning, when we realized that the girls had perished and we would never see their smiling faces, never hear their voices, horror seized us. We didn't sleep that day, and the next night fulfilled our combat missions without a wink of sleep. So, last week on Night Witches, they started off to do a very important mission to protect the Red Army soldiers retreating from Rostov-on-Don, the gate to the Caucasus, as the German Nazis advanced. And it was a sort of a terrible moment where the Russians were in full retreat. And our team of heroes, they flew out there to try and protect the Red Army so that they could escape. And in the course of this, I should probably say something else. Right before they flew off, two things happened. Young Anastasia Sheremetova, sister of the Deputy Politruk, confided in Irina that she thought that maybe Lena had a crush on her, or maybe she had a crush on Lena, or really maybe she had a crush on Titania, the section leader, but she didn't really know. She wasn't sure. What should she do? And Irina's like, keep your mouth shut. That's what you should do. Just zip it. And Mel, our mechanic, spoke to Lena, one of our crew, and said, hey, after the mission, when you get back, come and meet me in the hangar. I have something I want to give you. So they go off on this mission, and Nick and Anastasia in their plane are heroic, and they're able to bomb the Nazis. They do this amazing work. Unfortunately, there's anti-aircraft everywhere, and the other two planes get caught in the searchlights, and they get shot up really badly. There's some heroics trying to help each other, and the planes go down. And Nick and Anastasia try to sort of protect those downed planes with Nazis coming approaching them, but they're not able to, and they have to fly off thinking that their comrades are dead. Our comrades, however, do not die. They're able to survive, and it's
By one.
By one. And Irina is able to pull Lena out, and they are able to escape. It is desperate, and they arrive back after 4 days of trying to escape the enemy. And everyone is happy to see them. They were afraid that they were dead, but in the course of those 4 days, they missed missions, and there was a lot of emotionality. And one thing that happened is that in the midst of the thinking their friends are dead, Anastasia, off camera, went to speak to her sister, the Deputy Politruk, and told her that she thought that she might be a Lavender Woman. Captain Olga Barsukova overheard part of this conversation and got an idea that there was a Lavender Woman in the unit and said, Deputy Politruk, who's the Lavender Woman? And the Deputy Politruk said, I don't know. So she wanted to find out. And when everybody comes back, Olga Barsukova brings the whole unit together and says, I know that there is a woman in this unit who's attracted to other women, and I want whoever that is to step forward. Step forward. And Titania is able to hold this off a bit and say, hey, maybe we can talk about this the next day. It's a little bit too soon. Let's table this conversation, which Olga Barsukova agrees to. And then there's some fireworks. Irina confronts Anastasia and says, why did you sell out Lena? And then Anastasia says, I didn't sell out Lena. I sold out myself, but I don't know what to do now. And Irina's like, oh my goodness. There's a lot of drama there. Lena goes to Mel that evening after they had a really beautiful evening the night before. Mel says that she's going to go and tell Olga Barsukova that she's the one because she's just a mechanic. Everybody else is a pilot and more important, and she doesn't want Lena to get in trouble, who she's in love with. And after all, she's already been caught once, and so it might as well be her. And Lena says, but since you have been caught once, it can't be you because they will not be so forgiving the second time. And Mel is determined to turn herself in. They have this beautiful night together, and Lena gets up early, goes to Captain Olga Barsukova and outs herself, and then is taken away. And after she is taken away, Captain Olga Barsukova goes to the dugout, the sort of big hole in the ground, covered hole, where the women of Squadron 2, Section C, sleep, and makes an announcement. She announces that our Sergeant Nikita Volkova is no longer on training duty anymore, has now been passed along. And then she leaves, but I want to start us off. As she's leaving, she turns back and she says, Captain Olga Barsakova, the head of state security for the unit, our political police, says, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Two small things I forgot. One, no one has to worry about the lavender woman that I spoke about yesterday, because someone has come forward and admitted themselves. And that, I'm afraid, would be Comrade Sergeant Yelena Dozminova. She has admitted it, and she has been dealt with. Perhaps one day she will return after she has been cured and seen the error of her ways. But for now, our unit is now safe from all negative influences. Oh, Junior Lieutenant Petrova." And she turns to the character that Rocket Fox plays. "I want to say that you bringing the body back of Sarah Rabinovich was a brave and important thing. If we do not recover the bodies, then that woman's memory will be soiled, and she'll be treated by the state as a traitor and can have no honors, can have nothing. That you brought her body back means a lot to me, because I will have no traitors in this unit. So thank you. I would ask if you come with me for a moment, Junior Lieutenant. I have some questions I want to ask, and I want to make sure that the regimental commander knows about your bravery. Please, come with me." And she takes Junior Lieutenant Petrova with her.
I'm going to exchange dirty looks with Anastasia.
Anastasia is just looking like on the point of tears at this moment, also freaked out. And she takes the captain, sort of starts taking Petrova away, and then just says to Nick, "Comrade Volkova, I appreciate all the help you've given me in all of this time. It is good to know that you are a good comrade." And then she leaves with Titania, and you all are left in the room alone. It is you, Anastasia, and Nick, just the three of you in this dugout, this sort of hot, sweaty hole in the ground with leaky boards above you.
Where do you think they took her? Anastasia, what did you do?
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
What did you do?
I just talked to my sister, and I didn't say anything about Lena. I didn't do anything. Do you think she'll be okay?
Who said something?
I don't know. I don't know who said anything. I just talked to my sister, that's all, and and my sister wouldn't say anything. I didn't do anything. I wouldn't do anything to hurt Lena. She's one of my only friends.
I believe you, but I don't believe that your sister didn't do anything.
Why would she do anything?
Especially after the conversation I had with her yesterday.
What did you say?
I'm saying I think your sister's the one who said that Lena was the one.
She wouldn't do that. I mean, she's my sister, and she knows that Lena's my friend.
She's your sister, and she wants to protect you. She doesn't give a shit about Lena.
But Lena's my friend. And she starts to cry. What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do now? Can we get her back? What?
Irina's getting angry. I think she's gonna. I'll wait to see if Nick says anything. But if Nick doesn't, Irina's just gonna storm out, and I'm gonna go find Anastasia's sister.
I think Nick she's angry, but also kind of looks like she's got a little bit of her face is very conflicted right now, and it's a mixture of frustration and a little bit of relief because she'd been on Barsakova's radar, and now that's let up. But she really liked Lena.
And Anastasia just starts crying. And she's, I didn't mean to do anything bad. I didn't have anyone else to talk to. I just thought
Your tears aren't going to bring Lena back.
Yeah, Irina leaves, so it's just you two left there in the room together.
And then in this room, of course, you have the bunk, Sarah's bunk, and Sarah herself is dead, right? So there's this empty bunk there, and then you have Lena's bunk, which is also empty. So you have these two empty bunks where your comrades would have been. And Anastasia just cries.
Nick's gonna leave as well, and go to find Mel.
So let's go to Irina, who, I like to ask questions of each character to start the session to get some information. And I have a question for you, Irina. Your opening episode question. I've noticed about Irina that she has a bit of a temper.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I want to know, when was she the most angry and what happened?
I think it's probably why she got moved to this group was because she got in that huge fight with that other chick.
Ludmila Ivanova.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was, we both came out of it with like a lot of bruises. Let's just put it that way. Much like I already have right now, but this is from battle.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was just a brawl. So you are looking.
It was a messy brawl.
It was a messy brawl. How messy was it?
Other people may have been in the way and we didn't care. Brawl.
Yeah. Were things broken?
I'm sure something was.
Yeah.
You can choose. You can decide what things were broken or not.
People's hearts were broken. Friendships were broken.
Definitely.
Yeah. So nice. You are storming off to try to find Svetlana Shermetova, Anastasia's older sister. And you know where to find her. She has, there's an office, right? There's like an office where the staff stay. And that tends to be where she's got a smaller room off from where Olga Barsakova is. And you can find her fairly easily and storm into where she works. And she is there.
Yeah, I don't knock on the door this time. Like last time I knocked on the door politely. I just like bust in the door and start hollering.
When you walk in, you see her. And this is what scene confronts you. She is sitting at a desk, and she has got a bottle of vodka that's like half full and a glass. And her uniform is spotless as ever because it has to be. But she has got red rimmed eyes, and she is looking pretty miserable and unsettled, right? Like this, because Lena's
I take this as further proof of she is to blame. So I bust in the door. I see this. I grab the bottle of vodka and I throw it at the wall.
Oh.
And I'm just like, what did you do?
And she turns to you with this like look that is both angry and afraid and offended. And she says, and she stands up to her full height, which is not as tall as you.
Yeah, I get in her face.
You get in her face, and she says, "Comrade Sergeant, you are not speaking to a senior lieutenant this way, are you?"
I don't care what hierarchy you are. What did you do to Lena? I know that she is not to blame for this. I don't care about your sister saving your sister's ass.
And she like clenches her fist as you say these things. You mention her sister.
I clench my fist as well.
And you two are standing there like there's this crackle of imminent violence and anger. And she looks at you and she says, I would suggest, comrade, that you keep your voice down. My boss is only a few meters away in her office.
You expect me to be quiet
Yes.
after what you've done?
Yes. Because
I go and I
could-
slam the door closed. And like stand there like I'm not letting her leave the room.
I could do a lot more to anyone in this unit. But I didn't do anything this time.
What do you mean you didn't do anything this time?
What Dozmanova did was her own choice. I wasn't even in the room at the time. Well, I was in the room. I was called.
What do you mean it was her own choice?
I was called, and the minute she said, she stops for a moment and she looks off to the left, which is where the wall is, to where Olga Barsakova's office is. And you know, Olga Barsakova's office is just on the other side of that wall. And she looks over there and she says, when you were all sleeping, as you do before your night missions, I was called in to Comrade Captain's office. And when I came in, Lena was there, sitting.
Why would Lena do that?
I don't know. But I stayed for the whole interview, and I asked Lena. Well, I said nothing, but Captain Barsakova asked her what she wanted. She said that she was the Lavender Woman.
Irina's just like confused. I guess she's looking at her like, is she telling the truth, right? I guess
that would be an eyeball.
Okay.
That would be an eyeball move, which is a good old skill roll.
Okay, it's a skill roll.
Mm-hmm.
Not my best, but we'll see what we can do.
I do think you get a +1 because you have regard for Lena, and I think that this is relevant.
All right, yeah. 9. Okay.
You have one hold. You can ask a question whenever you want about the situation, and whenever you act on it, you get that +1. If you have to roll, you get a +1. So you get to ask anything you want.
I guess the thing is for her is she telling the truth, right?
Your sense is, as she's talking, that she is telling the truth about what she's saying. The words that are coming out of her mouth are true. However, you get a really strong sense that there is something that she is hiding that may not be about specifically this conversation, but she is hiding something. And it seems to be something big, right? For her, at least. You don't know what it is because it's not about this, but it's related to this conversation in some way, but she's not lying with the words she's saying. Right?
Yeah.
And she's,
I guess like Irina looks really confused. I was looking at her and can tell that she's telling the truth, but like something else is there, and kind of like looks around the room a little frantically, and then is like sits down in the chair and immediately goes back to attention and is like, sorry ma'am, I thought maybe you.
And she sits down across from you and she says, when these things happen, there are questions that need to be asked. Questions like, are you the only one? Do you know anyone else? Can you name them? Give us the name. Give us the name. Anyone else that you know or suspect? And Captain Barsakova asked Dozmanova these questions.
And what did she say?
She said that there was no one else, it was just her.
Do you think she was telling the truth?
It doesn't matter. What matters is that that was good enough for Captain Barsakova for the moment, which means my sister who said something stupid is safe. And that...
Is she, though? The look on your face earlier seemed like you're hiding something. There's something else that you're not telling me.
It is my job to find secrets. It's not your job to ask for them.
But with all due respect, ma'am, I can help.
Are you acting up?
Probably.
If you're
I mean, this whole thing is probably her acting up. Let's be honest.
This is fair. If you're acting up, what do you want?
I want her to tell me what she's hiding.
Then you need to roll your act up, and I assume you're acting up like a man because I know how you are.
Yeah.
And you get a +1 for your hold.
Sweet. All right, so that means I can use guts instead of the normal acting up.
This is true.
And 11 success.
So, you have some choices as a full success. You can choose 2 of the 3 following. 1,
Okay.
you can make someone do what you want, i.e., you can get the secret. 2, there are no consequences for you acting up, so you don't get in trouble for this. Or 3, you add 1 to the mission pool. Pick 2.
I think I add 1 to the mission pool. I don't care if I get in trouble. Irina doesn't care. I care. Maggie cares. Irina doesn't care. And then I get the answer to my question.
So you say to her that you're hiding something, right? And she looks at you. And there's this moment of stillness.
If it's a staring contest, I'm in.
And it's a staring contest for you, but for her, you're not quite certain what it is.
Like she's thinking. You can tell that she's... Yeah. Gotcha.
And you get a sense that she's trying to figure you out.
I'm trying to figure me out too.
You said that you could help her, right? That's what you said. And she's trying, you can tell she's trying to figure out what you mean by that, who you are, what is going on. Like, she's like, hold on a second, right? And then she says, after it seems like ages, she says, there are other lavender women in this unit.
How do you know?
Alberg, you're Swedish. You know that puts some suspicion on you from those who are paranoid, thinking maybe you are not loyal enough to Mother Russia. I've seen your records. You are a very good pilot, and you go above and beyond over and over again. There was that incident in your last section, but overall, you work harder than anyone else. You stay out longer. You make yourself so indispensable that they might overlook that you are Swedish. Your excellence protects you. If you were a lavender woman, you would have to be very excellent in order to survive. You'd have to be the most loyal, the most faithful, the most willing to find other lavender women and to put them in prison so that you yourself do not go to prison. You would have to sit aside and say nothing when friends or ex-lovers of yours are imprisoned, but you have to do that so that you don't go to prison. And if something like this happens and someone who doesn't deserve to go anywhere goes somewhere, you can't stop it. But sometimes if you are trusted enough and if you are valuable enough, you can say something to Captain Barsakova. And instead of being put in a gulag forever, then maybe you can get someone like Lena put in a hospital only, temporarily, and then she can come back and resume her career. And you sometimes have to make these choices.
Irina's looking at her confusedly and is like, is she outing herself to her? And then kind of like leans back at that last part and just kind of sits there in silence, I think, is what happens.
Look, Lena will come back. I will see to it. She saved my sister. I will make sure she comes back.
The question is she gonna come back herself?
I don't know.
Well, if she doesn't, Irina gives her a look like, I'm gonna make your life hell, and stands up and says, ma'am, and leaves the room.
And you leave, and she pours another glass of vodka, and she looks at it. And she drinks it down. And
Oof, what am I gonna do with that information?
Meanwhile, on the other side of town, miserable base, Nick is looking for Mel, and there's probably only one place where she'd be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the hangar.
Yeah.
And as you walk in the hangar, you've got only 2 planes, because 2 planes are missing. And you've got the entire crew of mechanics, mechanic armorers. You've got the 5 privates, and you've got her. And it's a sort of a slightly weird mood where some of the privates seem like everybody's a little bit on edge because that was a fairly intense thing that just happened the night before, and everybody's sort of curious. But people are working. They're servicing the 2 planes they have. And nobody's really, like, the kind of laughter and chatting that normally happens in that space isn't happening. Everyone's just sort of working in quiet, with just that sort of strange sense of unease. And the minute you walk in, people look to see who it is, and Mel sees you and says, privates, I need to speak to Comrade Volkova for a moment. Carry on. Comrade Volkova, would you speak with me in the back room?
Yes, I think that would be best.
And she flashes a smile to the privates as if everything is fine. And she says, come with me, I'm sure it'll be fine. We had some business to attend to. And she sort of waves at the mechanic armorers as she pulls you off into this back room, which is separated behind this sort of wall of tools and boxes and sort of equipment. So it's not even really a room. It's just sort of sectioned off, and the bottom of it has this sort of ratty blanket that sort of keeps this one spot free of all the mud that is everywhere. And the minute you turn that corner and you're back so that no one can see you, her face just falls, and she says, Did she do it? Did she turn herself in?
She did. I was coming to check on you. I know you were very close, and
she just starts crying.
Puts a hand on her shoulder and realizes that's not enough, and actually just wraps her arms around Mel and pulls her in real close.
And Mel just weeps against you, and it's what strikes you is that it's so quiet that if you were in just on the other side of those tools, you wouldn't even hear it. But her body racks with sobs, and she keeps all of the sound silent so that no one will know. And she just grabs your arms a little bit, and she says, so quiet so that almost no one can hear, but you can hear. And she says, I told her that I would do it. That I would do it.
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry, and it shouldn't have been Lena, and Barsukova has been on a warpath as it is, and I'm so sorry. Somebody was going to go down for this, but it shouldn't have been Lena.
It should have been me. I don't want anything to happen to her. I didn't want anything to happen to you. I mean, there's so much of us family in this unit, and I didn't want you or her or anyone else to go down. I mean, you have your wings. It should have been me.
It shouldn't have been any of us. We're all important. We're all fighting for Mother Russia. This is how they treat. I don't understand. It shouldn't be like this.
No.
Lena's gonna come back though.
But she shouldn't have to go through that. In those hospitals, it's terrible.
You had to.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. I don't want to, and Lena is so, well, she was one of the only ones that I liked. She was very sweet to everybody, and that's a rarity.
I was in flight school, and I fell in love with my flight instructor, who was an amazing pilot and beautiful and funny. And it was my first time ever falling in love with anyone I didn't know, And I think I wasn't good enough at hiding my feelings, and people guessed. And she pretended like we didn't have a relationship, and she told them that it was all me and it wasn't her, and they sent me away to a hospital. They tried to convince me that I wasn't who I was. I learned to lie. And I came back. I got back here. But I didn't want that for any of the rest of you.
I have a feeling there are a lot of lies and a lot of secrets, and it's unfortunate that it has to be that way. But I know that Lena would only have done this to protect everyone, and that's a very strong thing to do. It's a very brave thing to do.
Look, I need to tell you something. We're going to organize a party, sort of. It won't be tonight. I mean, you have to go to a mission. It'll be after. Maybe you could get, I know you have that Victrola, but only you. I mean, only family can come. Do you understand what I mean?
I understand.
It'll just be those of us in the family, just because I think we need a little bit of time,
Yeah. And Lena would have wanted us to take some time.
And I don't know if I can actually be a good host, but I know everyone else is really afraid. And there's a barn. You know, when you're heading towards Trudgornyaka, if you're heading out, you pass by the fields towards the town, and there's a small abandoned barn about like 2 kilometers away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There, you'll have to sneak out.
I'm not so worried about that.
And just some of us gals will be there, because everybody needs, I think, a little bit of time where you don't have to pretend like it's okay.
It'd be nice not to pretend for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey.
I'll see if I can get my paws on that Victrola.
Hey, listen. And she sort of slightly disentangles herself from your embrace, because she stayed there because she really needed that support.
Mm-hmm.
And she says, I want you to know, if anybody gives you trouble, I will protect you.
Well, good thing I'm still carrying this. And she pulls out the knife.
And Mel smiles and she says, look, we have to stick together. We have to stick together.
Yeah.
Hey, are you okay?
It just could have happened to any of us. The accusations and it's just what an ugly thing to happen. Yeah. And I should probably get some rest for the mission.
Yeah. And she wipes her eyes. Okay. And you can tell that she's like preparing herself. And then you walk outside and like she's got this sort of smile on her face, like everything is fine, as if this really horrible thing didn't just happen to both of you. And she's like, well, comrade, thank you for that information. And I think I will, if we could, we have to get the planes back. We have to recover those planes. Little Clipper and 13, we've got to get them back. Maybe we could talk to your squadron leader and organize to get those planes back.
Yeah, and what we have right now is ready to fly, right?
That's right.
Okay. I appreciate the information.
Thank you, comrade.
Thank you.
And as you leave, right, she goes back to working with the privates as if none of this has happened. Although you know, right, there's the brave face. And your squadron is depleted some. You've lost 2 people, but you have 2 planes and you have 4 people. And as the evening falls, you're going to be sent off on one of these missions, missions. And you've got Titania, who's your section leader, and right, she's going to brief you on what this mission is going to be for this evening. And she gives you her briefing and she says, okay, and everyone's still in this kind of weird moment because this all just happened. And she says, you know, we're going to be bombing the German 1st Panzer Army headquarters. There'll be some mobile anti-aircraft artillery, maybe advanced intelligence, but I think that we can do this. And she gives you one of her Petrova inspiring speeches. And she puts you in planes together. She has Anastasia and Nick in the same plane, and she will be in a plane with Irina. And the night falls, and you go off onto the flight line, and you're sitting in your planes. And the thing, so everyone knows, I mean, our players know, but for the audience, so that you know, the 588th is a regiment, and it's made up of 4 squadrons. There's the 1st Squadron, 2nd Squadron, 3rd Squadron, and then a training squadron, which is led by Masha Rudina, the training officer. And each squadron has 4 sections. So in the first squadron is where the regimental commander is, and all the highest ranking people are in that very first squadron. It's the very prestigious squadron to be in. You want to be in that first squadron. Like that's where it's like the best stuff is there. And when you go off into these missions, every 3 minutes, and each squadron, each section has 4 planes, 3 that are operational at any given time. And so there are a number of planes all around. And when they do one of these missions, the night falls, and every 3 minutes, a plane takes off. And so the first squadron, first section goes plane, plane, plane. Then the second section, plane, plane, plane. Third, plane, plane, plane. And they go one by one every 3 minutes. And so that every 3 minutes, all night, the target is bombed by these brave women. And this night, our heroines are waiting on the flight line, waiting their turn to take off. And the first squadron goes first, in the first section of the first squadron, second section, third squadron. And they're just waiting for their time to fly off. They are in section C of the second squadron, so it's a little bit of time before they get to take off on their mission. And they're just waiting. And Mel is there with mechanic armors. They've attached the bombs to the planes. They've set up everything. Everything has been gone through, and it's ready for the mission. And you all, by the way, have 3 mission pool for your mission. But before you can take off...
Pretty sweet.
It's pretty sweet,
Is that
right?
the most that we've had?
It's the most you've had. But before you can take off, you notice that the planes aren't coming back, or some of the planes, there's something weird about the planes returning. And all of a sudden, you hear shouts. And you see the major, Yevdokia Bershanskia, the head of your entire regiment, and she's waving her arms as she's coming down the flight line. She says, cancel all the flights, cancel them. No one's flying. No one is flying. And it's this hubbub, like, what is happening? What's going on? And people sort of like all over, people are coming out of their planes and onto the flight line, and people are gathering in the middle of the night when it's dark to find out what's going on.
What happened?
And
Seems like some of the planes haven't come back.
And the major calls, and she says, airwomen, hear me. And she is late 20s, statuesque. And she says, Yellowtail. Alberg, that's what you named him, right?
Yeah.
He just shot down.
Him?
He shot down 4 of our planes.
Oh.
The entire section B of the first squadron is entirely destroyed. And we lost a plane from section C of the first squadron. We can't fly tonight. We have to stop our flights for tonight.
Where did you see him? We can't let him bully us.
We can't go out there. We just lost 7 women. I know that we have flown every night for the last year, but we're not flying tonight. We'll be flying tomorrow. You're all dismissed.
Where were the planes? We need to get their bodies back.
I know, but we can't go out there tonight. It's too dangerous. There will be some reorganizations. Dismissed. And there are a lot of women on the field, dozens. And everyone's, not just pilots and navigators, but also mechanics and armorers from all the different sections. And it's all, no one quite knows. And it's the first time you have flown every single night, nonstop, every night you've flown. And this is the first time it's been canceled. And these are the first major losses you've taken. There's been maybe a plane might go down, somebody might go here, 1 or 2, but this is an entire section is gone. And some of another section. And you're all there in the middle of the night on the ground. Not certain what to do, except go to bed and wait for the morning. In your dugouts.
If there's an opportunity while there's all the chaos, Nick is gonna try and find, seek out if she can see Mel in the crowd somewhere and just kind of give her a look and see if she's doing okay with all the chaos.
No, not really. I mean, like, it's that moment where you see her and she kind of looks like a normal person, and when you make the eye contact, like, her eyes, like, that mask drops for just a moment, and you can see that this is overwhelming. But then somebody says something to her and she just sort of smiles as if it's fine. But she gives you this look of, what it says is to you is that you're not alone. She shows you her pain, and she lets you know that she sees you right in this moment on the flight line.
And I give her sort of like the brave nod in response.
And you all retire for the evening. You get more sleep than you normally do. Most of the time you don't get a lot of sleep at all. Which, by the way, Irina, your harm is gone.
Sweet.
Your harm is gone because you did not do that mission. And early in the morning... Oh, I had a question for Nick.
But that's only just one harm gone.
No. Both are gone.
Sweet.
Because if you sit out an entire mission, you heal both of the harm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. If you don't do day stuff, you heal one harm. If you sit out an entire mission, you heal 2. If you sit out the entire duty station, you heal 3. If you have 4, you're just dead. So there's so it's the morning, and you've gotten your sleep, and you're sort of in this moment where it's all a little bit unclear, and you hear the tromp of footsteps coming down into your dugout. And in the dugout, you see a number of people walk in to your dugout. You have Captain Olga Barsukova, your very best friend. You have Kadzieva, Alexandra Sasha Kadzieva, your squadron leader. You have, and then you have 2 other women. Yes, and you have 2 other women who come down there. One, let me count. I want to make sure I get this right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, 2 other women who are there. One is Maggie. I do like you. I just want you to know I don't do this because I'm mean. I do this because I'm a game moderator, so that's why. One of the women, you know instantly. You know her very well. It's Ludmila Ivanova, the one you had that huge fist fight with. Remember her? Yeah. She's.
Don't lie. You like the drama.
I do. I love the drama. And she's not muscular like you are. She's tall, but she's quite wiry, and she's very angular. And she's there, and she walks in. She sees you, and she just looks like something smells. She's not happy. And next to her is another woman. And Anna, might you describe what this woman looks like?
At first glance, you think that she's a very well put together, beautiful woman who has taken care of herself for a great many years. But as soon as she turns her head, you see this horrible scar down the side of one side of her face. Otherwise, she's fairly average build, and I think she's blonde.
And Captain Barsukova smiles at you all, and she says, I know that this meeting should be run by your squadron leader, but I have some larger news that I wanted to share. So, I'm sure you all heard about what happened last night. The terrible news of the deaths of our comrades and the complete destruction of Section C. Well, destruction will not, setbacks will not ruin Mother Russia. We are going to rebuild. We need to rebuild Section C, but at the moment, they cannot fly. So, we have some personnel adjustments that will have to be made. I'm here because one of the adjustments is a gift, is success. So, first off, I want to say that we need some leadership over in Squadron 1 for the new rebuilt Section C. Because, Junior Lieutenant Petrova, you were so impressive in recovering the bodies of Sarah Rabinovich, our comrade, you will be removed from this section temporarily to help rebuild Section C, which was completely destroyed. Your leadership has been noted, and I put in a good word for you. And so you will be henceforth transferred to 1st Squadron, Section C, until you whip them into shape. There'll be new recruits, and they will need your leadership. So, Junior Lieutenant Petrova, you are henceforth required to report over there, and this is a measure of Mother Russia's faith in you and recognition of your leadership.
And who's going to be leading ours then?
And this is when Olga Barsakova gives this big smile. And she says, well...
I look over at the other chick that, like, we are beefing, and I'm like, it better not be her.
And she says, oh, no, I wouldn't do that. So...
I don't say that. She's just giving her a look like that.
And she's looking daggers at you. Like, and she clearly doesn't want to be here. She's now...
And Nick looking expectantly at the other two that have just come in, trying to size up which one's going to be in charge.
Mm-hmm. She says, now, I will say, sadly, because because Junior Lieutenant Petrova will not be here, and because Comrade Sarah Rabinovich has unfortunately died, and young Dozmanova is off in hospital, that leaves your section somewhat understaffed. So, we have some replacements for your section. We will have... Now, of course, there is one person here who has the rank, and by rank should be leading this section, and that would be Comrade Junior Lieutenant Anastasia Shermetova. And like Anastasia, who's just been sort of miserable the entire time, just looks up like a deer caught in the headlights. But she has not finished her qualifications. And because she hasn't finished her qualifications, it isn't really appropriate for her to lead.
Irina has like a thank God. Not her look on her face.
Yeah, Nick lets out the breath she was holding.
There really is only one person who has proven herself to be loyal and who I have a personal fondness for, and that would be Sergeant Nikita Volkova. I hope that you will lead this section, and I am sure you will lead this section bravely and expertly, and perhaps, if you do so well, a promotion might be in the future for you.
Irina like nudges you and is like, nice.
Well,
And Nick's trying to hold it together, but she's just like kind of mortified. Like she's trying, like you nudge her and you realize she is like just completely rigid.
Like tense.
Yeah, like uh-oh.
Irina does not pick up on that. She just thinks that you're like a lot more buff than she thought you were.
And she's oh, I'm sorry. I should introduce the people who will be filling in the rest of your section for the moment. And then one other person rushes in late, and Olga Barsakova gives her this look. And it's this woman who's sort of compact and like very she's got like a brown hair, sort of olive skin, and she looks like she's maybe Azerbaijani perhaps, or from one of the Central Asian republics. And she's coming in a little bit late, and she's like, I'm so sorry. I was just finishing up some things. And she sort of like stands there, and you can tell by the ranks all these people are sergeants. And she says, let me introduce the people who are filling in your section that will be answering to you, Sergeant Volkova. This here is Sergeant Ludmila Ivanova. I think Comrade Alberg you have met already. And
Alberg just looks at her with like straight face, like not even like.
And she's got this look like this, right? This like sour look. And this here, talking to the new person who came in, is Sergeant Tamara Golovina, who, by the way, I'm very proud to note that Sergeant Tamara Golovina did her flight training at the Komsomol Academy, a good member of the party. And last we are honored, and you should all make a special place for Sergeant Veronica Cordina, and gestures to the beautiful woman with the scar. She is the only survivor of Squadron 1, Section C. She has seen all of her comrades die, and I hope that you here in this section will make a home for her, a brave, brave airwoman who survived something terrible. So, I will leave this to you. You have a mission to go on. Well. Oh, and then Captain Barsakovo gives a pause to make sure nobody wants to say anything. And then she leaves. And leaving you just with your squadron commander, Sasha.
When she leaves, I immediately look over and I'm like whispering-ish to Nick, but like not being that like ninja about it. So if other people are listening and they can hear me, I'm like, do not put me in a plane with her.
Yeah, I'm getting the feeling that might be a bad idea.
And your squad commander is like, women, all right, look, we have a full section, but we don't have a complete number of planes. Before your mission, when the light falls, I need you to do something first. I need all of you to gather up the mechanic armorers run by Kamenova. I need you all to go off into the field where your planes went down and recover them. And this was what we have been assigned to do, is to recover those 2 planes, but Sergeant Cordina, I think you might know the location where your comrades fell.
I am relatively familiar with it, yes.
I would like you all to recover their bodies. It's not your mission. Your mission is to recover the planes, but I would like you to do both.
Noted.
For Mother Russia.
That is your mission for today, before tonight. Spend some time thinking about it. We have maps. And welcome to the squadron. I leave the section in your hands, Comrade Volkova. And she leaves, leaving you alone with this ragtag group of women who are going to be sent out to recover some planes and bodies.
Good. I'm glad we get to find them.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that we need to.
Of course. Of course.
And Anastasia looks at you, Veronica, and she's on your good side. And she says, "You're so beautiful. You're like a film star."
Thank you.
And then she sighs a little bit, and then she says, "So," and you can see that she's trying to, because there are new people here, trying to seem perky, right? She's trying to be Anastasia. That's what she's trying to do.
She's basically like if My Little Pony character got put into Night Witches.
Yes. And she says, friendship is magic. And she says, "So, who are you going to marry?"
And she's talking to Veronica?
Yeah.
Veronica shifts her face around and says very, very seriously, "I will die in this war."
"No, you
And then
won't."
she goes and finds an empty locker and starts unpacking what little she has, which is very, very little.
Veronica, I have a question for you. I have a pregame question for you.
Okay.
We've all been on base for a while. We've gone through training together. It's been a bit of a time. So I would like to ask you if you could tell me 3 rumors, 2 true and 1 false, that people on base may have heard about you. Perhaps your fellow airwoman here might have heard some things about you. Could you give us some things?
Somebody would probably assume that she's unstable.
Mhm.
So that would be one. That she is, I'm not sure the exact phrasing that would be used, but particularly after being the only surviving member of that flight, probably that there's something bizarre there. How you walk away from 7 people dying, 4 planes going down, completely untouched, is not right.
So perhaps there's a rumor that you might be a witch?
Probably, actually, yes. Yeah.
And one more.
Oh. Oh. I've got the hint of one. I need a second.
You can have a second. It is fine. While you're thinking, Nick, can I ask you your question? Okay, here's your question.
Oh, I was sorry, I was muted because the cat was meowing.
It's
But
fine.
yes.
Has Nick ever been in love?
No.
That's all I wanted to know. For later.
Yeah, Nick has not been in love, but likes the idea of it.
Because I know, I know that she's 17 and not 18. I want to know if she's been in love before. For later torture.
17 going on 18.
This is just like Sound of Music, but less singing.
But still Nazis.
But still Nazis. Do you have your last rumor?
Yes.
I'm ready.
That she is well connected with the Politruck.
So you are all in this dugout, and you've been given this mission to go grab the mechanic armorers so they can make these planes serviceable. Find the planes, and then find the bodies of your fallen comrades so that they will not be disgraced. And that is what you have to do. It's not a night mission, it's just a special mission. You need to go up and do it. How do you want to go about doing this?
Because the planes aren't probably going to be in a condition to fly back.
But that's why you'll bring Mel and the mechanic armor so they can do field repairs.
Yeah.
Are we going out there on foot?
Yes. You might have trucks. You can get trucks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Land-based travel.
Land-based travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was angling for too. Yeah, if we can get a truck to pile people into. I guess first thing would be to go and talk to the mechanics and let them know what's going on in case it hasn't been relayed. So
it hasn't.
I'm gonna go find Mel.
And the mechanic armors are in there, and they're still working on like fixing up, stretching canvas, making sure everything's together. And when you walk in, Mel gives you a look. Comrade?
Seems we have a mission, land-based this time, and we're going to need some mechanical assistance. We need to recover some of the 2 planes that went down with Section C.
Yes, Sergeant. Privates, and they start gathering up as much materials as they can get, right? Toolkits, canvas, everything they can get, like wood, things they can do to maybe help fix what might be there. And trucks are gathered, and Sophia, Sergeant Yu is there, your quartermasters, making sure that all the things you might need are set up. And you are put in these trucks to go off, and I'm going to need Nick, who's in charge, to make a scrounge roll, which is luck.
Cool. That is my best one, which may not mean anything, but
Yay. That's good.
Whoa! I screwed
Dang.
out of it.
Well. I feel like we have some good luck going on.
Today's our lucky day, man. We're not doing Knock on wood. So bad.
So you just get what you want,
Wow.
and you also add one to the mission pool.
Yes.
4.
4.
Yes.
Damn, 4?
So I
That's
want you to now, Nick, you're the one who saw where they went down. You're in these trucks, all of you. And
Mhm.
it's going to take a while for you to find the location, which gives you all some time to talk while you're in the back. Like Mel's driving.
I'm gonna ride shotgun with Mel.
And you're driving out there. Then that leaves Veronica and Irina and Ludmila Ivanova.
And Anastasia, right?
And Anastasia. And
Oh God, what a weird crew of people to put together.
you're all
This is like, these are the type of people you put into like a house together and you're like, live for 2 years alone while we videotape you.
You think that Nick called shotgun?
So I'm going to give Veronica and Arita a little bit of time to chat in the back of this truck while you're heading looking for these locations.
My assumption is Anastasia probably starts the conversation.
Oh, she does. And I will tell you, Irina, you know her, and it's a weird thing because there's this kind of forcedness about it, right? There's this like a force, like everything is fine, but it doesn't feel like you saw her before, and this doesn't feel like the same Anastasia from when she first happened. She seems like she's sort of trying to go through the motions of everything being fine because they're new people here and she doesn't know them 100% yet. And she certainly can't tell them some of the things she's thinking. So, you know, she's like, so it's good we're going to get the planes back, right? That's good.
It will certainly facilitate our mission in general. Yes,
I think it'd be great. We need more planes,
we do.
especially if we keep losing them. And I'm pretty sure Clipper and 13 are salvageable. I mean, I was able to land 13 pretty well. I mean, minus the hits we took.
Clipper?
Yeah, that's what 42 was called.
Yeah, it's one of our comrades, Lane, it's her favorite plane. And so what happened, it was really funny. It wasn't actually funny, it was kind of scary, but it was in training, and the two planes, they just clipped each other's.
Is Lena one of the people we're going to find?
No.
No. She's one of our she's been sent to hospital.
Ah.
For a while.
Sorry, I don't mean to
No, it's okay. Everything's fine. She's my friend. So, and then you can be my friend too. Now, because you're in our squadron.
She might try to give you a bracelet, just, you know.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't make a friendship bracelet for any of you. I didn't know. I'm sorry. I will make friendship bracelets for all of you. And then we can all be friends.
I am sure you will have time.
And anyway, the two planes, they clip their wings, and so one of them is called Clipper because
It's a good name.
Oh, I didn't know that part.
yeah, it was in our first mission. It went really badly, and you know, because everyone had nerves. I had nerves. Hey, Comrade Cordina?
Yes.
Can I call you Veronica or Ronnie or V or
Veronica, please.
Veronica? Was it really scary?
No.
But everybody died.
Anastasia.
Not everyone.
Sorry.
And it's war. If you do not make death your friend, you will not make it through this. And even if you do, you may not.
You know where they are, though, right?
I have a pretty good idea. I am not a navigator, but I have a pretty good idea. We'll find them.
How do you make death your friend? That seems... I don't...
Anastasia, she doesn't mean literally.
Perhaps not.
Did
It's being accepting of the fact that you're going to die. Or, well, highly probable.
And Ivanova's like, yeah, I bet you'll die, over in the corner.
Irina gives her like a side glare and goes back to talking to Anastasia. Trying to keep her shit together before I go over there and punch her.
Sorry. I feel like you're just best friends.
I think Veronica moves from wherever she was sitting to between the two of them. Just to kind of like give a blocking view, like.
And Tamara Golovina, the one who came in late, she turns to you, Veronica, and she says, they're not telling you, but this Lena girl, she was revealed to be a lavender woman, and therefore an enemy of the state. If there's one thing that I can't stand, is enemies of the state, right? You can't have that.
I would say the worst thing is disharmony in a unit.
I agree. And she clearly didn't get what you meant by that comment. But yeah, she's your, and she goes, I heard about you, Cardina. You also went to the Commissol Academy. You're also a good member of the party. And then she turns to the rest of you. Where did you all fly? Where did you learn to fly?
I don't remember what the name of the school is.
I think you went to an agricultural, technical? Yeah.
I don't know if it has like a name.
No, that's at the category. It's the style.
Perhaps we should ask rather, why do you fly? I think that is more important. I have seen people come out of the military academy and be terrible because they don't have a love for it. It isn't their reason for being. Most of the women in this wonderful military force, this is not the case for, but I have seen some that it is. So to me, it doesn't matter where you went to school, it matters why you fly.
My previous section had some people like that as well, but
Ivanova looks at you with
some of
a
them
death
didn't
glare.
quite make it.
Ivanova says,
Maybe that's why you're a survivor too, like I was. Kind of exchange a glance and then say, I fly because I love it. I've flown since I was a little girl. My family's owns a farm. Well, did before we moved to Moscow. And I've flown ever since.
She just smiles and nods.
What about you?
My mother, and as a player, I can't remember the woman's name. I had it written down. My mother told me of stories of the woman's name I can't remember, flying in World War I. Since I was a little girl, since before I can remember. And I always wanted to know what it felt like. And eventually I got the opportunity. I went to school for it, and it was everything I could do, everything I dreamed and more. That's why
I heard about the school that you went to. Not a lot of us get that option.
I was very lucky.
and Anastasia goes, Nick, what about you? Why do you fly?
Oh, I'm guessing.
Yeah, because she's like tapping at the little window. Yeah, like because it's a canvas.
Yelling through it.
It's like a truck, but it's a canvas, right? It's a canvas covering, so like you can hear back.
Oh, why do I fly? To spend time with great people like you.
Thanks, Nick.
Irina like grins.
Anastasia says,
I think I kind of give like a roguish sort of sarcastic grin over at Mel because I think Mel's got this. Just kind of like a, like.
And Anastasia says, I fly because I was a ballet dancer from when I was really small. My father and mother said that I would have to do ballet. And ballet's so beautiful, you know, because you can be on point and it's like you're walking on air and it's so romantic to
Looks
be.
painful.
It is. Your feet bleed all the time.
Then why would you do that?
Cause good daughters do things that their parents tell them to all the time. And so I just did it every day for hours and hours and hours, dancing and dancing and dancing and not eating and not having friends and
Anastasia,
just...
what does this have to do with flying?
Oh, so what happened
I read
was
it the worst. I'm sorry.
my sister was learning how to fly, and then she would sometimes take me up in the plane with her. And in the plane, no one tells you what to do. You can really fly, not just being on point, but you can do what you want and be whoever you want to be if you're flying. And my sister taught me how to fly, and then she went to war, and I was just left home alone again with my family, with my parents, and I didn't want to be alone. I wanted to fly, you know? And I got to be here with everybody and all my friends. So I fly because it's, I can be somebody I want to be in the air.
Irina just like kind of like nods and was like, okay, that part of the story was good.
Yeah, I think Nick sort of absorbs that and is kind of pondering on what she just said.
Veronica just smiles at her and nods. It's a good answer.
And Ivanova's like, I fly to be the best, and looks at Alberg.
Yeah, keep working on that.
And like there's this like rage like boiling in her little like, but she doesn't do anything, but like because there's a person in between them. And Golovina says, well, I fly to defend the motherland. Sorry, that's not her voice. I fly to defend the motherland.
You have always flown to defend the motherland? That is the only reason you have ever stepped inside a plane?
Yes. I flew, I started learning because Mother Russia needed pilots, and so that's why I learned, and if that's what Mother Russia needs, that's what I'll do.
Interesting.
What if they told you that you'd never get to fly again?
Mother Russia wouldn't do that.
What if they did?
Why would they do that?
Just asking. It's hypothetical.
Good communists don't care about hypotheticals. They care about the Earth. But you can tell she's disturbed by this thought. And she's sort of like, takes out a notebook and scribbles some things, puts it away. And
Irina seems satisfied that she ran her in a circle.
and you go off and you make it to this field, and there are the two planes. There you have Little Clipper and 13, and some trees and branches have fallen over them. They're sort of like stuck really close to this forest line, which is probably what helped them not be captured or something. And it's hours, right? The mechanics go out and they work on these planes. They are trying to get them at least fixed flyable, and it takes some time. And they say, look, it'll take us a couple hours, says Mel to you all. I feel like while we're repairing, you should go off and try to find those bodies, and then come back here.
Sounds like a good idea. I look to Volkova for direction.
Well, I seem to recall where the planes got hit, so we should start following along the trail of when they got hit versus when they went down. And she's obviously not comfortable having to be in command with this, and is just sort of like, what do I do right now? And sort of directs, breaks up the, or rather, we should split off into two groups, one to recover for one plane and one to recover for the other, and starts looking around trying to figure out who she's actually going to break up into teams.
Well, you have the two planes. You just need to find bodies now. So you need to sort of get yourself out to where the other planes last night were destroyed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking that there's probably a couple of areas we should go to. So, Irina, you and Anastasia come with me.
All
And the
right.
rest of you, we're going to split up, and kind of points out the trajectories and explains which direction each group's going to go in. And good luck. Let's find our comrades.
I need a guts roll from each team. So I think that'll be a guts from Veronica.
But no tokens. Oh, sorry.
No,
I'm learning how to use this thing.
it is fine.
Oh no.
You can spend a mission pool to bring that up to a 7 as for a partial success.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think it's a
Okay.
good worth.
And I need a guts from the second team.
Who want to do?
I guess that's going to be me, because I'm leading whatever the hell is happening right now.
Oof.
Oh,
Do you want to take the mission pool?
Do have 3 left.
You do have 3 left.
So we'd have to get 2 more to give you a partial, right?
That's
yeah,
right.
which I think in this case is not the worst idea, because if we don't come back with those bodies, we're going to be in deep
Yeah.
trouble.
And
So
we still have 1
I
left
mean-
over, so.
The
Yeah.
mission isn't for the bodies.
well, that's true, but we're still going to be in a lot of trouble if we don't bring them back.
Or the families of those people will be devastated.
Yeah, and also that.
We have the planes
Yeah.
so far.
So your 2 groups go out, and using the descriptions that Veronica gave about where they went down, you comb the countryside, and after a while you find this different sites. There's like 2 or 3 different places, and you go to find the bodies, and I'm going to describe them to you a little bit, and I want you to tell me how you're feeling. Not all of them are intact. You find some bodies that are mostly intact. Some have been badly burned. Some, they're only parts and pieces of bodies, but you have to recover them as well, like a boot. But you're able to find all of the bodies, but they smell of death. And you might notice, especially you, Veronica, you might notice, because many people will often put something on the dash of their plane when they're flying, like a photograph or a drawing, something. And you see in the cockpit of one of these destroyed planes the photograph of Marina Raskova that somebody put on their dash as inspiration when they were flying. One of the people in your section that you knew. Little mementos and pieces of people's lives alongside these broken bodies that you have to carry back with you on the truck. And you do. But I want to know how you all feel in this moment when you're confronted with plane parts still smoldering and broken lives. How are you feeling right now?
I think Nick sort of snaps into that mode where you get sort of distant, because if you aren't, then the reality of the situation is going to be overwhelming. So I think it's just she's trying to think of it in terms of, this is just a task. I'm just picking up things that I've been asked to collect, and trying to disassociate them as being people. Otherwise, she's just going to start losing her mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Irina, how are you doing?
Marina has a moment when she looks around and she sees everything, and then she goes to work. Like, that's kind of how she deals with everything in her life, is like, all right, assess the situation, get to it, and just tries to figure out like the best way to get people and help lift things, to move bodies and stuff like that.
Mm. Veronica.
These are my squad mates.
Yeah.
I flew with these people when they died. I think if somebody was really, really paying attention, they would see a glimpse of sorrow, and then it got shut down hard. And she still lingers on each of the trinkets, and she gathers them up and she puts them in her own belt pouch. And she makes sure that everybody's eyes are closed. But aside from those things, she is cold as ice. She gives.
If I see her
no
collecting like
emotion.
trinkets and things, and if I see anything else, I will kind of just like hand her one or two other things that I notice that might be valuable to somebody.
Like, you find a locket, right? Like aside, like in the dirt somewhere, you find this locket that is silver, clearly old.
I kind of clean it off the dirt of it, and use my shirt if I have to, and walk over to Cardinia, and I'm like, found this. Might be something else I saw you collecting.
Thank you. These are what's left of them. These are for the people who will remember them.
I'm sure their families would like it as well. I'm glad we found them. Is
Me
there
too.
anyone you think is missing?
I don't know, is there? No?
No, you got them.
This is everyone.
And you make your way back together, right, as a group, towards
Yeah.
the plains. And the back of the truck is filled with these bodies. And Mel's there with the planes and the mechanic armorers, and she says to you all, she says, they'll fly. Won't be pretty, but they'll fly. I think 4 of you can take these back, and the rest of us in the truck.
I think that's for the best. And realizes, oh no, Titania's not here to pick who's going to be in these planes.
Everyone's just looking at you, Nick, like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
just like
gonna
looking
fly
at
around.
me, and she's just kind of, all right.
Real quick metagame thing.
Please, break.
Guts' piloting
Yes.
and skill is navigating.
Yes.
Okay. She says to, I'm so bad with names, to the junior lieutenant, she says, I'm best in the pilot seat if you choose to have me fly one of these planes.
I volunteer as well, ma'am.
I think, Veronica, given everything that you've seen, that it's best to have you pilot one of the planes. So
Thank you.
I'm going to have you in, let's see, so it's 13 in Clipper, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have you piloting 13, please. And Irina, I would like to have you piloting the Clipper because I think Lena would appreciate that.
And Anastasia says, I can navigate the clipper.
Why don't you go ahead and do that? I think that would be a good idea. And I'm going to navigate for Veronica.
And Mel gets the planes prepared, and you fly off. It's not a night mission. You come back home safely, and it's a little while longer before the trucks come back in with the bodies and the rest of the section. And when you arrive, people are waiting to take the bodies, and Olga Barsakova is there, and she sees you coming back with the bodies, and she gives you this very meaningful look, all of you, of thanks, as people come to take these bodies away.
I think Veronica approaches her and has a quiet moment where she presents their personal effects and says, these things were meaningful to all of these women and should be sent to their families and loved ones that remain as such.
And Olga takes these from you, and she looks at you very seriously, and she says, my dear, I am the captain of state security of this unit. I am the Politruck. It is my job to make sure that these women are honored, and I thank you for giving me these pieces. I will make sure that their families receive these, and I always do what I promise I will. Thank you. And she gathers up these pieces, and she looks at these bodies of her charges, and she goes off with them. And your squad leader, Sasha Kajieva, says, well, good job. We have a night mission. Get yourself ready. And that's where we're going to take our break, everyone. So we will come back after break with the night mission to see how that goes. But I believe we have some donations. Oh, we do. Hey, everyone. We have some donations that have come in. And I would like to read them out for you all. The first one is from Propaganda Bot, who is, our friend. And Propaganda Bot says, Comrade Propaganda Bot, here again to thank you for doing your duty to the proletariat and the motherland. I have discussed recent events with Comrade RNGesus and am convinced they see the necessity for our fighting women to be supported. He will behave. Which I'm glad to hear it. Korosei, who is my Call of Cthulhu GM, who likes to torture me as much as I like to torture you, donated $5, but left no message. And so I think our newest member of the section, Anna, should give us the message.
Oh, goodness. I don't know. I think I'll recap what I said earlier and abbreviate it. Punch Nazis.
Punch
or
Nazis.
In this case, bomb Nazis.
Bombing is good because you get more of them. Mm-hmm. We also have a donation from the Save Lena Foundation for $10.
Oh.
We here at the Save Lena Foundation are here to bring back our sweet, sweet pilot Lena because she's a good, brave girl and she deserves better than this. Also helping us reach that sweet, sweet 6969 goal. Thank you. Modus Moron donated $32.31, which is amazing, but left no message. Could we get a message? Nick, you're our section leader for now. Give us a message.
Oh, message. Leave the lavender women alone.
Leave the lavender women alone. Yes.
Fighting to punch and bomb Nazis too.
Yes, all the punching. And then our last donation I see here is the Vera Pavlova fan who donated $5 and gives us a poem. And the poem is, The ache of loss still burns, hearts asunder. Will they ever be restored? Care of the mother still required. The witches need to soar, to glide, to be free. Return the mother's daughters. Sisters may yet return. Go, fly, bomb Nazis. So, we're going to go to break. However, I have to tell you something first. Two things. First thing first, hydrate, drink water, stretch yourselves, take care of yourselves, because that's what we do. But second, we have our giveaway. And the giveaway is going to be this amazing, wonderful book, Dance with Death, which is all oral history, all like first-person interviews with amazing women who were in the 586, 87, 88, and other Soviet airwomen. And this is going to be for some lucky person. Also, if we reach our goal, which is 6969, and we are on our way there. If we reach our goal by the end of the fundraiser tonight, not only will, I feel like I'm at a PBS telethon right now, which is cool, but not only will your donations go and help fund the rest of the season and so we can get more really good things also in the future, but if we hit our goal, Anna is going to throw in a copy of Night Witch's rule book for that same person. So we'll do it. How do you enter this giveaway? All you have to do is type in the word Clipper into chat, and then we will find out who the winner is. So only one time, put Clipper into chat, and when we get back from our break, we will announce who the winner is. So everyone, take care of yourselves. We're gonna go on break, drink some water, stretch our legs, and when we come back, they're gonna go on their night mission. So take care, everybody. We'll be back soon. And yeah, that's it. And that's not it. We're still on. Hold on. Where are we? Wait, I got it. Wait. And no, that wasn't it. Hold on. I got it. Give me a second. It's I want break. And welcome back to the second half of Night Witches, Toil and Trouble, Episode 5, Witch Hunter. Hi, everyone. Guess what? We had a giveaway over break. It was like a pretty awesome giveaway, and it was a giveaway for this super amazing book. And by the way, I recommend it. It's also super readable, really good, Dance with Death. The title being from a quote from one of the actual Night Witches, which maybe I will read at some point in time soon. The winner of our giveaway is BP Phantom, also known sometimes as BP. And BP Phantom's like been such a good, wonderful member of the community, and I'm really happy that that he has gotten this lovely book. I know I can do my Vanna White sort of situation there. And if we make our goal, he will also be getting the Night Witches rule book by Jason Morningstar of Bully Pulpit Games. Also, all of you folks who are interested in this game, I recommend you buy it. Just go get it. It's really good. And it's powered by the Apocalypse, so it's super easy to run. And they give you lots and lots of information, so you don't have to be intimidated by the historicity, because you can do it.
Takes like 5 seconds to make a character.
It takes 5 seconds.
5 minutes. It's super fast.
It's super fast, which is good, because characters sometimes die.
This is true.
It is true. It is true, but it is good. So thank you, everyone. Welcome back. So in the first half, we had some fallout from what happened the week before, sort of dealing with the loss of Lena and Sarah. And then after that, the witch hunter, a German flying ace, shot down many of their planes, which happened in real life. And they shut down the missions for that evening. And in the aftermath of that, there's some restructuring. Junior Lieutenant Titania Petrova has been sent off to a different unit to sort of try to bring them up to speed, leaving Nick Volkova in charge. And that little yelp, that's good. It's a growth moment for Nick, who's only 17, actually, and, you know, maybe a little overwhelmed by all that's been happened. And new members of the unit have been brought in to fill in the ranks, including Veronica Cordina, who is rumored to be a witch, is rumored to be really well connected, and is also rumored to be unstable. Are those things true? We don't know. They're rumors. We can't say. But who was the only woman to walk away from that terrible attack by Yellowtail the night before. And also included in the new group is Tamara Golovina, who's clearly a real zealot about everything, and Ludmila Ivanova, who is Irina Alberg's best friend. You know, the one they got into a massive fist fight with. It was they don't like each other. They spent yesterday. They spent the time going off recovering the planes, including the beloved little Clipper and 13, Lucky 13, bringing those planes back and getting them repaired, but also bringing back the bodies of the fallen airwomen, because as was the policy, if the bodies weren't recovered, you were considered to be a possible traitor, and you could not get any posthumous awards or be recognized in any way. And this is actually a true historical fact. And so they brought these bodies back so they could be honored. And it is now at that point in time where it is time for them to go off on one of their night missions, because the missions are unending and they're unrelenting. I wanted
mission pool,
but they only had one mission pool. However, the conversation in the truck, and you can actually see this on the handout, on the overlay. The conversation in the truck, Veronica reached out to the squad and had that sort of moment where she revealed something significant about herself, about her inspiration and all of that. And that counted as a reach out. So I had her roll it, and she got a partial success, and she chose to add one to the mission pool.
we
So-
have 2.
So you were all
okay.
sitting at 2 mission
I
pool.
don't know how I didn't catch that one.
It was this moment of
I think I was just too into the story. for it.
Well,
Okay.
we rolled it during the break.
yes.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So, night is fallen, and it is time for our night witches to go off into the air and fly, and to bomb some Nazis. And Nick is pulled aside by your squadron leader, Sasha Kajieva, who's gives you a briefing and sends you back to the section that you lead now, all by yourself. And you walk into that section of the dugout, and everyone looks to you to tell them what is going to happen.
All right. And I get to pick one of the missions, right?
Yep, and you have C and F left.
I actually would like to pick C because I think that it's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's a precision bombing of the railroad crossing at Likaya.
Mm-hmm.
Denying this junction to rolling stock is an urgent request from the 40th Army, who intend to retake the area and quickly put the rail line back into service.
Mm-hmm. So at this moment, it's a very fluid battlefield, right? I mean, the Red Army pushes forward, and then the Nazi Army comes back, and it's really confusing in the battlefield, and therefore it's really dangerous and unstable, and you are doing so much work here in the battle for the Caucasus, trying to support the Red Army. Like, if they need to make a push forward, you go and you're going to go and leave things open for them. If they need to escape, you go and you help things. So, like, you're doing a lot of really, really heavy, serious work for your duty station. This is going to be one of these heavy, serious moments where you are hoping that you can strike back and make it so that the Red Army can take ground back. So.
All right, ladies. I guess I'm in charge, so I'm going to go ahead and break out assignments. We are going to be trying to free up a rail line so that we are able to get supplies in. Arena, I would like, again, for you to fly Lil Clipper, if you would.
I'd love to.
I am going to have Sergeant Golovia. What is your? What are you best at?
She looks at you and she goes, I like to think of myself as the brains. I'm very good at navigation. You put me behind, I can see anything there is to see.
I doubt that, but good to know that information.
She creeps me out a little bit.
Very skeptical look on her face. Like,
Ivanova, your preference for me to take into account?
My preference is to not be in a plane with Alberg, the Swede.
We're all working together, and you're going to be in whatever plane I put you in, and you're going to be lucky to be in a plane on one of these missions with us.
we are all lucky to be in these planes. Of the hundreds and hundreds of women that applied, we are all lucky to be in these planes.
Yes, Comrade Sergeant Section Leader.
Mm-hmm. Veronica, I'm going to have you pilot again. I'm going to have you in 13 again.
Thank you.
Same.
Anastasia raises her hand and she says, I'll fly with Ivanova.
Okay. In that case, Anastasia, I am going to have you piloting 84.
Thank you.
And our new friend, Ludmila, you get to go with Anastasia.
And Ludmila's about to say something. You can tell that she's just about to say something, but then she looks at you and you have this very serious look on your face and she does not say anything. But
Yeah.
she was about to be lippy, but then she didn't.
I am going to navigate for Arena in Lil Clipper, which leaves the task of navigation of 13 to you tomorrow.
And Golovina goes, good. I'm an excellent navigator.
Well, you get to prove it now.
I will. Now, who's the lead pilot, who's lead navigator, and then who is on Vedomaya?
I'm going to make Arena your lead pilot tonight. I'm going to take up lead navigator. And for Wingwoman, I think Veronica makes the most sense.
Hmm?
I mean, it's also all the players that are here, but I also think it makes the most sense.
all of those things are true. And so you are...
Oh, Ludmila probably hates that you put her in like a non-pilot position too.
She does. because she likes to think of herself as like a hotshot pilot, and also better than Arena. She likes to think that. Is it true? No, but that's not. But we all like to think things about ourselves. And all of you airwomen start heading off.
Anesthesia a little less, so she gets to pilot.
Now, I will note before you send people off. No, that's good. We're good. You are all heading off towards the flight line.
I mean, I do get bonuses if I'm with Anastasia. But
This is true. I will just note that there are bonuses out there for people who are in a plane with Anastasia and none of you are in a plane with her. So you can think about that.
Yeah, I get that there's mechanical bonuses,
but
and
it makes sense.
But I think story-wise,
no, I love that you put those two together in a plane. Just
and there's a little more trust, weirdly, with Anastasia flying, especially because Nick did have a successful flight with Anastasia before.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you're heading off towards the flight line, and when you arrive, you have your planes arrayed, and you'll notice that 42's out there, 13 is out there, 84 is out there, and Mel and the mechanic armors have been working real hard to get those planes put together. And you may notice that there has been some extra love and care put to repaint those planes after the canvas has been restretched so that they look good again, and Lil Clipper has been rewritten on the tail of the plane. And over 13, Lucky has been written, so it says Lucky 13. Mel has been doing her creativity in plane naming a little bit. And as you're waiting to go, you're ready. It is almost time. You're going to go and do this really intense mission. And then there are cows on the flight line, and they're blocking your way. And there's just this 3 or 4 cows have wandered on, and Mel mechanic armors have to go and move them off, and finally the flight line is cleared, and you have just a few moments before you take off. And Anastasia gives everybody a thumbs up.
Before getting the plane, Nick would have put a hand on Mel's shoulder looking at the little clipper. That would have made Lena happy.
I thought so. Bring her back in one piece, right?
It's the plan.
Sorry.
And off you go on these planes, and you take off into the night.
No.
Oh, wait. No, do it. If you've got one more, go.
While the cows are being cleared, and when we have that time before we actually take off, Veronica takes some of 13's engine grease and kind of puts it on her lips like lipstick, and then kisses each of the bombs on her plane before climbing in.
Hardcore.
And Tamara, who's your navigator, just looks at this and has heard rumor about you being unstable and goes, that's all. She just gives you a look.
Do I see the look?
Oh, you do?
I look at her and very matter-of-factly turn and I say, it's the kiss of death. And climb into the seat.
And
she's probably horrified.
She's a little horrified, not really quite certain what to do. And Anastasia, who hears this, is like, ooh, that's dramatic and exciting. And so she kind of is excited by the drama of it all. I don't know how you all feel. And off you fly, off into the darkness in the night, and you are heading to try to go and make it so that the Red Army can push back against the encroaching Nazis. I'm going to need a wayfinding roll from our lead navigator. My dearest Nick.
Yep.
This is you, and I'm going to need a skill roll.
All right. Oh, okay.
All right.
I got a 9.
Not bad.
Apparently, RNGesus is not mad at you.
Not doing as bad today. It's kind of a little weird and disconcerting.
What? I'm going to ask you a question. You have 2 mission pool. Do you want to use one to make that a full success?
What do you think, ladies?
I'm worried that there's going to be some situation where we have a fail and it can make us have a partial success. But I don't know what you think.
I think we should go for it and use it. Make it a success.
And just make sure, because we have been having a lot of not great missions lately too. Let's push it to 10.
Okay. So you don't have to take any negative consequences whatsoever, but you do have to tell me how you get there. Tell me the approach. Describe it.
So we go ahead and we move up, and we're up very high, and it's a night where there's some cloud cover. So it's low cloud cover, so we're able to actually get up above the clouds and move into that area without being seen, and then able to do a sweep out of the clouds over the train tracks.
And it's night, and it's dark, and there is this railroad crossing, this junction, and there are these Nazis there, and they've got all of this sort of supplies on the track and on this junction, and out of nowhere, out of the clouds, out of the sky, your planes with your engines off just swoop down like silent death. Irina, make that attack roll. It is guts.
Yep. We'll see if we miss.
One of the reasons that they were given the name Nachthexen is actually because the sound, the howling that the planes made as they descended was unearthly.
And a 4 fail.
Okay.
Nice.
So
yeah, mission pool wouldn't have helped that.
Mission pool would not help.
We had 2 mission pools, so yeah, it still would have been a 6.
So
Yeah.
you have, so Nick gives you the perfect setup, and I need you to answer this question.
Okay.
You have a choice. Would you like to abort the attack completely, or which, you know, Olga Barsakova will want to have a conversation with you about why you did that. It's your choice.
Yeah, no.
Or would you like to tempt fate and push on?
Oh, I'm tempting fate and pushing on.
All right, my friend, tempt fate, roll guts. So you
Okay.
So you go in, and the bombs don't. Okay. So you fly in.
Yeah.
You're swooping in, and you, Irina, you drop those bombs. Are you ready? No. You click the button, and none of the bombs detach from the wings. The couplings, because it's cold, right? Like you're up there, and these planes are not. These planes are not new, and they're not high tech, and they're not the newest and best planes. And you click the button to drop them right at time, and they don't drop.
Something's wrong. I don't know what's going on. They're not dropping.
I'm going to ask you a question. You have to take, this was a full success, so you must take 1 negative consequence. And before we figure out what happens, I want to know which consequence you take. Do you take the damage to the target is not significant and it's your fault? You fly through a storm of flak and you have to trigger enemy fire. A plane in your section is damaged and I get to pick. Or you and your fellow airwomen are marked.
I'm willing to take a mark for what it's worth.
Yeah, I'm thinking either the mark or we take flak.
Black is going to be real nasty.
It is.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, we can do some marks. We're not dead yet.
Okay. Which marks do you take? I want to know.
Okay.
Let's see what I still have.
I think I'm gonna do make a friend or take a lover, and I think I'm making friends today.
Okay. I like it. And what about you, Nick? What will you take? This is your first mark.
I've gotten marks before.
Oh, I didn't write it down. I'm the worst. Really? I thought you've gotten away with no marks.
I thought I had a mark.
I don't think you have.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Uh,
Advance
well,
and grow will get you an advance.
that's exactly what I was thinking, especially because this mission, like, it's going successfully and in charge right now. I feel like this is a big moment for her.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So you get
So
to
I'm going to take the advancement.
do it. You get to pick what advance you want.
If you want to take a mark that like isn't something that's happened yet, can you do that?
Yes,
Like, for instance,
yes,
like if
you
I did
can.
comfort a dying friend.
Yes, you can. So any mark you take can be something that happened in the past or something that will happen in the future.
Okay.
Doesn't have to be just at that moment. And if it's in the future, then it's exciting because then I was like, oh, comfort a dying friend. That's going to happen.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe I'll swap it to that just for funsies.
Do
for
it.
Drama.
We'll do it.
All right, doing it.
Comfort a dying
Yeah,
friend in the future.
You know, I'm kind of thinking, has anybody taken any medals yet?
Nope.
Maybe I'll do that.
Thank you.
Nice.
I appreciate that. You make me happy. Take a medal, and you get to up your medal stats.
Yep.
And this is perfect story-wise, and I'll tell you why. Do you want to know why?
Yes.
So you line this up perfectly as the navigator. Irina, you are really good at your job. You are a very good pilot, and this is precision bombing, so you have to actually make it at the right time, right? It's very difficult to do this. And you are very good at your job as well. You get it set up and it's perfect, and you click, 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 and nothing drops because the bombs don't detach. And when the bombs don't detach on your biplane, there's only one thing to do.
Climb onto the wing.
Manually do it.
Your navigator needs to climb onto the wing while you're in the air and manually detach each one of those bombs. So Nick.
Yep.
Tell me how you do it. And before you do, Irina, you know she's going out on these wings, and one slip, because you don't have parachutes, because they didn't give you parachutes. Tell me how you keep this plane ready for her. You're in this moment of panic. Talk to me.
Okay. I'm just like, they won't drop. We're gonna have to do it manually.
Keep the plane as steady as you can.
I'll do my best, and I'm just like holding it and trying to keep it as steady as I possibly can.
Nick is going to climb out onto the right wing first and hold on to the front part of the wing, just in case the plane ups or dips at all and tries to throw her.
And the wind is whipping at you.
And reaches around with her other hand as far down as she can to start detaching bombs.
And it's so delicate, but you have seen these mechanic armorers attach over, like you've been doing this for months and months and months, and you know every part of this plane. And you reach and you wait, and here's Irina making sure that you stay in the space, that when you drop it, it will fall in the right space, and you detach each one in order.
And once I hear the sound of the actual, like, them hitting, I'm just like, woo! We're just like going.
And Nick's just taking a breath because we've got him on both sides, yeah?
Yep.
And clambers back into the cockpit, steals herself, and does the same thing on the other side, gripping to the front of the wing to help hold herself in place and reaching for the bombs that she knows she can detach without even looking at them.
Yeah. And those bombs drop, and the junction is destroyed. And it is hard to do it, but you know you did it. And you maneuver back towards base, victorious. I'm going to need, however, Veronica, our wingwoman, who's on watch, to make an eyeball roll, which is just a skill roll.
Okay.
All right. You don't notice anything weird. That's fine. You're coming back. You're flying in. Nick, your navigation.
Yeah.
Give me an eyeball roll.
All right. You said skill.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So,
Oh, no.
Well, I had all that wind in my eyes from climbing out on
yes,
the plane wings.
Does Ludmilla get a... Or,
NPCs never get to roll. I will give, our pilot, who sometimes doesn't always pay attention to their navigator, you can make an eyeball roll if you like to see if you
Good.
notice anything.
all right.
This is
So
skill.
Is this skill?
It is.
Wait, I clicked the wrong thing. Skill. 7?
Okay. All right. You can ask one question, and I'm going to tell you something, and then you can ask a question. Are you ready? Well, first, let me ask you a question before. How much do you pay attention to Mel mechanic armorers?
To Mel and the mechanical and the... okay.
How much do you pay attention to them?
I think ever since I met Mel with Lena, I
Mhm.
think that I thought she's pretty cool. So, and the fact that she was willing to do the paint thing with us when we were all drunk was, I think, yeah. I think as far as bonding with them, we've kind of all formulated a sisterhood. So
Okay.
enough.
So you
And clearly, I've been suspicious of everybody, so I've just been really more watchful than I had in the past.
That's fair. So you're in the lead plane, and everybody else is sort of feeling the thrill of this victory, this like amazing thing that has happened. And you're in the first plane, and you're coming in, and something, what's weird? Mel mechanic armorers are always there on the flight line. They are always there, all of them, so that the minute you land, they can refuel, restock, and make sure everything is okay. And there is nobody on the flight line at all. Nobody. And it just hits you like you're coming into land, and you're leading the section, and you're coming into land towards the flight line. This is the auxiliary airfield, not your main one where you're staying, but the little small one you have that's really close to the front line that you fly out of for your missions. And they're not there. You can ask me any question you want at this point in time, and I don't know what you want to do, but that's a thing you notice.
Can I have a conversation with my navigator?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I'm just gonna kind of like yell back. Well, I mean, we have voice comms of some sort, but
What you have is a rubber tube with a little speaking.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of like yell back there. Something's not right. I don't see any of the mechanics on the ground.
Maybe they got called in. Maybe there was news.
Should we still land?
Do you see anybody moving around down there?
So my question to you is going to
Yes.
be, what should I be on the lookout for?
You should be. Let's say you're on the lookout, right? You're like, let me peer, right? So this is your auxiliary base, and you have a question that you get to ask when you want to see what's up. They would be there, and you look, and then you notice their trucks are not there, because normally they've got all their trucks with all their gear. The trucks are not there. There is nobody there, and that is not right. That is not right at all. It's not good, because they should be there. And you don't see anybody else there. Like, that's it. And you don't, this is not good for you. This is bad.
Okay. Is there another field that we can land at?
Mm-hmm. You can go back to your main field where you've got your terrible dugouts where you sleep. But this doesn't look right to you.
Okay. I'm going to yell back to you again and relay that. I think we should land at the other field.
I agree. Something is weird, and Nick's gonna kind of scan around looking for other planes in the air, especially because the mission had been completely scrapped the other night because of somebody coming after them, and she's going to be looking to see if there's an enemy fighter that's been attacking.
So now you know something. You know you have a bunch of other planes coming in after you, right? This is your section, but you've got other sections coming. And you have flares. You can drop a flare onto that field, onto your airfield, and light it up to see a bit better if you want to.
Okay. I'm gonna do that.
And this is still connected to Irina's eyeball. That flare, it's this beautiful red flare that has a small silk parachute on it. And it descends, and what it does is it illuminates the area in this sort of beautiful, beautiful way. And as it illuminates the area, you see out on the sides of the airfield a bunch of soldiers, and they are not in your uniforms with guns ready. It seems to you, it looks like your base has been overrun by Nazis, and they're just waiting for you all to land so they can kill you.
Great.
And there you are, each one of you is going to land. Well, you're not going to land, but you've got people behind you who are going to land, and they don't necessarily know about this ambush.
Do we have anything else? I mean, they would have probably seen the flare drop, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah. Which you don't know what they're going to do about that.
Do we have guns or anything else with us that we can signal them with?
Just
Just
on the plane.
You all have no guns on your plane. You
I
have,
didn't know, like not like guns.
you have a pistol.
I mean, like a pistol.
You have
or something.
pistols. You each have a pistol, but also Veronica's plane still has bombs.
I mean, I'm hoping they'll see that there's the flare on the ground.
But yeah.
But there's not a good way to really communicate with them, like, hey, drop your bombs on the field.
You can like hand gesture to them and like, because you guys are in open cockpits, you can, right?
Yeah, I mean, if we're close enough, I'm going to try and signal and do kind of like pointing down at the ground and do a motion like a bomb blowing up, and then do like an X with my arms to see if Veronica catches what I'm trying to tell her.
Well, it'd probably be tomorrow, right? Because Veronica's flying.
Which means she'd be the one to see it, right? Because she's in the front of the plane.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like turning towards like the back of our plane and leaning as much as I can.
Veronica, you see the plane in front of you drop a flare, which is weird. And then Nick is making this gesture towards you, right? Sort of like this intense gesture about pointing down and then like making a bomb gesture and making this big X. What do you do?
Can I, like, if I take a second to assess the scene in front of me, what do I see knowing that something weird is off?
Yeah. Because of the flare and that earlier eyeball, you look with the space illuminated and you see them. You see off in a distance, like a couple of trucks that are not yours that have swastikas on them. And you see what you see is a kill box. You see an ambush. You see people on both sides of this runway just waiting for planes to land so they can come out and just murder everyone and steal your planes. Your airfield has been, your auxiliary airfield has been overrun, and there are numerous sisters coming in after you who are going to be landing here, and if they don't see it, they'll be captured, killed.
Being familiar with this camp, if it was overrun and things were not able to be properly evacuated,
yes,
what are the primary targets? I want to hit them.
I want an eyeball from you.
Okay.
That's a skill.
Okay.
You know what the targets are, but I want to see if you can sort of match them up.
Okay.
Nice.
Success.
Yep.
We could make that a full success, right? We have.
Yes, you can.
I would like to.
Yeah.
Do it.
This is important.
Is that our last one?
That's your last one. But you get 2 questions that will give you a +1 each when you act on them. So one is, the hangar has all the munitions, and those munitions are really close to the airfield because they're really, really heavy, and so they don't want it to be a very far move. So you can hit the hangar. It's a temporary hangar. You can hit that, and that'll do a lot of damage. And then also on the other side, there's a fuel. There's like a fuel depot, and you can hit that as well. And both of those things will do massive damage, splash out, and probably hit that'll ruin most of everybody's life who's hanging out there secretly.
And if I succeed, it'll also let the other planes know.
Yes. And it'll be a big obvious do not land here because things are on fire.
Yeah. All right. I want to do it.
I need your attack run, and that is guts. Mm-hmm. And you have a +2.
I have a what? Why do I have a +2?
For your eyeball. You had a full success on that one, which gives you 2 questions which you asked, and you get a +1 for each of those questions when you act on them.
Great. So that's a full success.
That is a full success.
Excellent.
Awesome.
But you need to take 1 negative consequence, my friend, because that always happens with attack runs. And it would be 1 only. The damage to your target is not significant, and it's your fault. You fly through a storm of enemy flak, which I do not recommend. A plane in your section is damaged. I get to choose, or you and your fellow airwoman are marked. And your fellow airwoman is Tamara, and she'll die. Just so you know. Because NPCs can only take 1 mark. If they take a mark, they die.
Which one's Tamara?
She's the zealot.
Oh gosh, darn, this is a tough call. I mean, I did scare her earlier,
You did?
and that's handy. Oh. Sorry, give me the list again.
These are the hard choices that you have to live with. The damage to the target is not significant, and it's your fault. You fly through a storm of enemy fire. A plane in your section is damaged, and I get to choose which one.
Okay.
Or you and your fellow airwoman are marked.
If I got to choose what plane, then I would choose that one. But
I get to choose.
yeah, how bad is flying through a storm of flak?
Oh, it's bad. It is something that I do not. I mean, if you are successful in a luck roll, and that would be by the navigator.
Okay.
But you have an NPC navigator, so it's bad. You mean you get things like 5 harm, plane damaged, a plane goes down completely. Enemy fire is no good.
Okay, so the last one is the one that I'm worried about.
The marks?
No, the plane going all the way down.
Yeah, that's bad. But also 5 harm is rough because that's a lot of damage.
And harm means death.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But less so for me.
That's fair.
I think I'm gonna let Tamara die.
So you and a fellow airwoman are marked.
Yep.
Take a mark. Pick something good.
I need to reference what marks I already have. So sorry.
Yes. Oh no worries. I audience.
You shouldn't have any yet because you just started playing.
No, she has 2. We passed her through the first duty station, so 2 marks, 2 advances.
Because I'm not a new pilot.
Yeah.
Call dangerous attention to yourself might be one.
I like it.
Oh goodness.
Hey, audience, I get to go and kill Tamara in some kind of really exciting way when I feel like it.
Yeah.
Tasty marks.
Well, I do need to comfort a dying friend. So
This is fair. I'm just saying, she's not going to die right now, but she's going to die real soon. In a most dramatic way.
I'm going to embrace death. No, I'm kidding.
No, not that one.
I mean, I really already have. It's fine. Tell a story of home.
Okay. So you
that
can.
That one will be interesting.
Yeah. So you can do that
nice.
soon.
I like those ones.
Yeah, those are so good.
Yeah.
The marks are really good, everyone. So I want you to tell me how you do this. Tell me how you have this moment.
I think something like clicks inside of her when she sees that flare, and then she looks down and she just knows. She knows that if they land, they're all dead.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that anybody that's still there that is Russian is dead.
Mm-hmm.
And it is her duty and her reason for being to deal out death. And so she does it. And she just flies, nails each of those marks, massive explosions, lots of people dead. And starts following the lead plane back to the main base.
And it is brilliant, right? These explosions are massive. And the night, 'cause it's so dark, they just light up the night. And it was like what you had done earlier at that junction. And now this sort of auxiliary airfield you're flying out of is on fire. And as you fly out and you move on following Nick, you can see the other women of the 588 following on, and they see what's happening and they bypass this base as well. And so everyone comes straight from, they avoid that death trap and they make it back to your auxiliary base. And when you land, because none of your planes are damaged, you land perfectly fine. Excellent. You see, of course, panic and trucks moving in and out. And when you land, Mel and her mechanic armors are there waiting for you beside a truck. And they just say, we just want you to know we made it out. And trucks are still coming because people are like, were vacating that space. They had got enough, advance notice they were able to escape before the Nazis overtook it. And so people are sort of moving in this moment, but you've all sort of made it safe. And you are brought into the debriefing tent where your squadron commander, Sasha Kajieva, says to you all, what happened? Tell me what happened.
Well, we went on our mission and were successful. And as we came back, Arena noticed something was not right, and we dropped a flare. Saw the enemy had overtaken our secondary airstrip, and Veronica was able to direct her plane over munitions and blow things up, allowing us to escape and for our fellow airwomen to escape and hopefully to have done some serious damage to the German soldiers.
And Anastasia raises her hand. She didn't say, but Comrade Sergeant Nikita Volkova, she climbed out onto the wings. I saw her, and she released the bombs by hand. She was very brave. She didn't say it, but she did it.
It had to be done.
But she was very brave. And everybody did a really good job. And of course, like, Lieutenant Kajiv is like, what is going, like, all right. Thank you, Junior Lieutenant. and she takes all of these notes. And you are dismissed. And it is, the days go on a little bit on the base, and there's a lot of hullabaloo about what happened. It's very sort of, people are very excited about all
After
of this.
we are dismissed,
Yeah.
though, I will mention to Nick that I will say, she's right, though. You were brave.
It had to be done. What can I say?
I agree.
Now, you have some time, right, in this moment, and things, people, the grind keeps happening. You're working, and you have to go and find a new auxiliary air base. Things are happening more or less. And it's time passes. Titania is not brought back yet because she's still doing work over in this other section. And there is a moment when you're all getting ready to do another mission, because this is sort of nonstop for you all. And as it's going, it's 1943 now, because you were sort of near the end of that year, and you're moving on. And it's January 4th, so it's gotten cold. 1943. It's winter again, and you're still out there in the grind, working. And as you're getting ready, you're all called as a unit together, all of you. And this doesn't happen that often, but everyone's been brought together, and you have in front of you the regimental commander, Major Bershanskaya, Yevdokia Bershanskaya. She's there. The deputy commander of the regiment is there. Captain Olga Barsakova is there. Deputy Polotruk Svetlana Shermetova is there. All of the big brass are all there, and they look grim. And Major Bershanskaya steps forward and says, "Airwomen, I have terrible news for you. Today, our beloved Major Marina Roskova died. She was flying one of her bombers to the front so that she could lead her unit, the women that she cared for so very much. But the weather was poor. And rather than stay where it was safe, but leave her unit without her leadership, she pushed forward. And in that storm, she died. Her plane crashed. And the woman that founded all three of these sister units, the 586, the 587, and the 588, one of the greatest heroes of the Soviet Union, my model for being an airwoman, has died. There are no flights for tonight." You are all dismissed. And the command leaves, leaving you all with the knowledge that the woman who single-handedly made it so that you all could fly has died. And Anastasia comes up to Irina and she says, "Why did it have to be her? Why does anybody have to die?"
Irina just kind of like grabs Anastasia's arm and like squeezes it a little bit, which is not like Irina to be comforting at all. Doesn't say anything. That's kind of like it.
And you all move a little bit back. And before you get to your dugout, Mel calls out to the section and says, "Hey, look, meet me in the hangar, all of you. Sergeants," realizing that that was a little bit, just order people around. Do you all go?
I think on the way back to the dugout, Veronica is complaining because it seems the worst way to honor her memory not flying. and she's angry about it. And even though you've now at this point you've spent some time with her, you've probably never seen her actually angry or frustrated like this, but she is very upset.
Nick is going to look confused, but respond to Mel's call out and walk over to her.
And
If Irina hears her, Veronica, like kind of being upset about it, like, are you exclaiming anything?
Yeah, she would have openly said it to all of you, to the squad, not like yelling it to the superiors or anything, but she would have openly said all of that.
I think Irina would agree and be like, I agree, that would be my decision, but I guess it's not up to us to always make all the decisions. I'm gonna go meet up with Mel. You're welcome to join us.
And as the section moves into the hangar, the planes were all getting ready to be used that night. But instead you see a table, and on that table is Anastasia's Victrola and some bottles of very, very cheap, probably very poor quality vodka. And Mel says, we've all had losses. And she looks at Nick when she says that. And then she turns back to everyone and she says, but life is life. If we have this evening, we should make the most of it. I'm proud to serve with you all. And she turns on the Victrola, and the mechanic armors sort of start passing out glasses of vodka. And Mel says, to Marina Raskova.
Marina holds up her, says the same.
And she drinks. And they hold a party for you all, basically. A party for all of you where maybe there's some dancing and just a space to be together in sisterhood in this moment.
Very early, Veronica leaves, lodges a formal complaint with somebody, and then comes back and fully enjoys the party.
What about the rest of you at this party?
Probably spending a lot of time chatting with Mel.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like she needs it.
Mm-hmm. Irina?
Yeah, sure, that's what you're doing. I know what's happening here.
What?
I think Irina doesn't have like a itinerary. She's kind of just drinking, and then whatever happens around her, she's involving herself in. She's not going out of her way to like do anything specific.
And Anastasia ballet dances a little bit because she gets drunk as well.
I probably do watch out for Anastasia just because I feel protective over her.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of just like, oh, you stupid child.
And that is how you close the duty station of Trud Gorniaka. And our episode for the day. The next session, which will be session 6, will take place at the next leg of the war as they move forward through time. So thank you all for being here as our airwomen drink and honor the fallen leader, Marina Raskova. So let's first off, you can't, the audience, I'm sure they are, but you all can't hear it because it's text. I'm gonna give a clap for my wonderful players. If you could please introduce yourselves and people who I'm so honored to play with. Let's start at the very top, starting with the A. Let's start with Anna Geeks. Please introduce yourself. Tell us who you are, how amazing you are, where we can find you. Thank you so much. Give us something.
I'm Anna Geeks. I broadcast on my own channel, Anna Geeks. You can find me just about everywhere with that name except Instagram, where I am Anna Geeks AFK. I also am the CEO and chairperson of this wonderful nonprofit broadcasting station that we are currently broadcasting on in a nonprofit fashion since we are currently doing a fundraiser. Please help us pay the bills. Thank you.
Thank you. And then after that, let's go to Mac, who's next on our alphabetical list.
Hey guys, I am and will continue to be Mac Beauvais. And you can find me online as @StrangeLikeThat. And also, I am every Monday, you can catch me over at Happy Jacks on their Twitch stream playing either Dragon Heist or Star Trek, depending on which Monday it is.
Nice. You're using the new Modiphius Star Trek system?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Star Trek Adventure system.
Nice.
Yeah, I play a android who is also the ship's counselor.
Ooh, well, what time?
That's at 7 o'clock on Mondays.
All right, thank you. And last but not least, Maggie.
Hey, you guys can find me at Margaret Crone in all of the places. I do a lot of tabletop stuff as well. If you want to come check it out, always let you know I'm live on all the channels. And I think that's all I really got. Thank you guys so much. This has always been a lot of fun.
And I'm Trooper
SJP.
SJP.
Sad and dramatic as well.
A little, World War II wasn't a happy, fun time.
No, it wasn't.
But you had a nice, nice party. I'm Trooper SJP. I'm your game moderator for Night Witches, and I want to thank you all for being here. And you can find me on my channel, Trooper SJP, where I do story-heavy video games. That's what I do. But let's read some giveaways. So we have some good ones coming in here. So our first giveaway is from Johannes Gutsmeidel.
Donation.
Yes, that's the word I meant. I meant the word donation.
Money to us.
Yes. The
Wait,
word.
what did you say?
I said giveaway, but what I meant was donation. That's what I meant. So our first donation is from I know Johannes Gutsmeidel, who says, just to mention that the people the Night Witches were killing here are Nazi conscripts who may or may not be staunch Nazis. This is a historical setting after all, so not everyone is 100% good or evil. Otherwise, I love you all, amazing show. And that is so true. One of my, and it's often just historical thing. It was often so that people who were sent on the Eastern Front were often not there willingly. They, like, my ex's father had been one of the few people in his town that did not join the Hitler Youth, and his parents were like big communists, and they're like, no, like, you're not getting involved in that. And so he did not play well with the Nazis, and so they sent him off to the Eastern Front. So noting that this is a very complicated situation, and not everybody has agency and autonomy to do the things, right? So noting it.
So all due respect to that, but also it's a lot easier and more fun to say, let's bomb Nazis.
That is also true. And that, by the way, was a $100 donation. Thank you very much, Johannes. And Willen TW donates $50 and says, wow, what a first half. New character with a heartbreaking story and a death wish. Very emotional mission. Thanks all. I'm so glad I can help you keep creating amazing shows like this one. And Willen, if you all don't know, is one of like our big Wikia minders. And we have a wiki where we keep all the sort of good information. So thank you, Willen, for all of your hard work. And thank you for that donation. Oh, and then we have a $5 donation from Osip Mandelstam, who is an amazing poet. An amazing poet from this time period who was captured in the Great Purges in 1938, a Jewish poet, and who died in the Gulag. And this is a line, this is one of his poems, who said, and also, by the way, one of the favorite poets by Sarah Rabinovich, who's dead right now, says, leaves scarcely breathing in the black breeze. The flickering swallow draws circles in the dusk. In my loving, dying heart, a twilight is coming. A last ray, gently reproaching. Why has the music stopped? Why is there such silence? And that was a poem from Osip Mandelstam. $5. And then Dunya Rostova sends off $5 and says, and this is a poem by Margarita Alliger, the poem Spring in Leningrad, and it says, "During that slow winter, shattering its iron darkness, you used to say in a low voice, 'We will not give in. We are made of stone.'" And that is a poem by Margarita Alliger. And then RNJesus donates $5 and says, "I tried, I swear." Oh my goodness. Reina Terror donates $100 with no message, and then $10 with a message. And the message is, "The second half was awesome too. The picture in the background at the end, so moving." But there is one message with donation with no message, and I feel like someone here should give us our final message. Who hasn't done one yet? Maggie.
Maggie, but I can just amend my earlier message if that'll help.
Do it.
Bomb Nazis and Nazi conscripts.
There you go.
Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you for the subscription, Reign of Terror. That second one was from Willem TW, by the way. Sorry, I got that name wrong.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for all the donations. It's much appreciated. We are going to go down briefly.
Yeah, probably 10-15 minutes.
10 or 15 minutes where I go down and then they switch over the cameras and they go back up. When there's going to be cast chat and games. Yes? Yes.
Board games. Yep.
Board games, which will be exciting. And we are we're on our way to finishing our last goal. We only have a few more hours left. It's 3 hours or so before the fundraiser's done. And we still have a way to go on our final goal, which, if it is completed, will fund the rest of this season. Worlds Beyond, the little bits of Night Witches left that were not funded from this first season spark, and back things so to help pay for our community manager and our YouTube folks, and to make sure that people get paid. And if we bust through this goal and we go from 6969 to 800813, then Anna might get paid, because Anna's not been paid for a while, but and she should be paid because she does so much work. So if you can give, that would be wonderful. If you can't give, then, and even like $5 helps. Subscribe. You can Patreon, bits, tips, follow us, be
sharing,
hosting, tweeting, join our Discord. We have a Discord. Just be part of our community, because we are happy to have you here, and we love you. So thank you, everyone. I have to go and get ourselves set up to go.
The donation goal amount.
Right, there's a donation goal amount. It's hanging out. So thank you, everyone. And next week, we're going to have our Junior Lieutenant Tatania Petrova back, and we will see what this crew gets up to in their new duty station. So thank you, everybody. Fly well.